Good afternoon and welcome to Breaking Fry Bread. I'm Dave. This is Ty. Good afternoon, Ty. How are you doing?
Hostile hell, my brother. I'm doing good. How are you?
You know what? I'm living the dream every single day.
I see that.
Not a
I
day
see that.
goes by when I don't have the best day of my life.
I see that, man. I see it every day on your social media. I just see, you're constantly moving with purpose and moving with love.
Moving with purpose and moving with love. And I'm going to tell you something. I like moving with purpose. I like moving with love more than I like moving with purpose. I'm just going to throw that out there. So
That is important.
you had the canoe trip last week.
I did. It was awesome.
I got to know, like, in just I know we got a time limit today, but I just got to know, how was it?
It was spiritual. It was a great 3 days. Great time with my son and my nephew and other tribal members. But getting to experience that medicine that the water had um, on those 3 days, pulling from the San Juan Islands to the Orcas Islands, just how beautiful of a day it was. It was really a great experience. Being welcomed to the shore by the community of Orcas Island, that was probably the topper. We pulled up, they welcomed us in on the dock, and we thought that was it. Well, we started making our walk up to the shore, and we were greeted by the entire town applauding and drumming, and kind of
Wow.
yeah, it felt like a celebrity walking up. Um, it was great.
Well, I'll tell you what, in about 3 or 4 short days, you may be a celebrity. I see that vote for Ty right behind you. You got the big election coming up.
Yeah, we're down to the last 3 days. It's a blitz. I gotta try to get out there as much as I can. So however I can spread the word. I got vote loud, Puyallup proud right here. I'll have shirts here today, so I hope I can get you one of those. Um,
Listen, if you've got a shirt going on, you know, I'm no small man. What sizes are we rocking? You got that 4X for me or what?
you already know, man.
You
I'm
already
no small
know.
man either, man. Us big guys, we need
There you
we need
go.
room to move.
There
So
you go. There you go. All
I
right.
got you.
You get me that 4X. I'm gonna rock it. I'm gonna rock vote tie for tribal council. I'm gonna do that. Today's show is focused on financial education, and we're focusing on, what do you do with that 18 money and how do you invest your per capita? And I think all of those things are really, really important. And I love those topics that we have, because I really believe in helping the Puyallup people, helping our people, help any native across Indian country. I believe in all that. I love that you took the canoe journey. Who was the canoe journey for?
The canoe journey was called the Eagle River Gathering. So there were indigenous people from all over the world that participated in this journey. However, it was kind of small in participation, but it was very powerful with the people that were
Who was
there.
it? Who was invited? Could I have gone?
Absolutely, you could have joined us on the canoe and
I could have.
the whole
I
trip.
would have hoped I wouldn't have sunk it.
Hey, if I can fit on the canoe, you can fit on the canoe. You might have to go in the front. We might have to counterbalance each other, but we would have made it
Hey,
happen.
don't get up too fast. It's going to be a teeter totter. No, but
That's how it is
seriously.
too.
So anybody can join.
Anybody can join, especially that you're a Puyallup tribal member. We could have actually used your help because we had so much going on that week. We had the culture department was getting ready for the first fish ceremony. That was that Saturday. We had the rest of the culture department getting ready for the canoe journey that we are hosting. So there was a small group of us that actually went to participate over there at the San Juans. And I think there was 7 of us, including a 7-year-old girl. So
Wow. Where did the boats leave from? Where did the
The
canoes
canoes.
leave from?
That's a taboo right there. If you're on the canoe, they make you jump in the water for calling it the B word. But
All right, I'm jumping in the water. I'm jumping in the water. I called it a boat. Look at that. There's a fashion faux pas. Uh,
we we caught the ferry over to Friday Harbor, and we camped the first day there on Jackson Beach, right there on the San Juans. So there was a protocol there. The journey had already been going on for a day. We met up with everybody there at San Juan's. We joined protocol that night, and we sang our songs and talked about us as a Puyallup people. And you got to keep in mind, there's indigenous people from all over the world. So we had a South African tribe there. We had Aboriginals from Australia, New Zealand over there. The Lummi tribe was there representing, um, and we had a family all the way from Maui, Lahaina. You know, they brought a canoe family over.
I love
Um,
Lahaina.
yeah, great.
That's a
You know, great people.
that's a totally different podcast show, but I'm going to tell you I love that area. Okay. So all that, it sounds like an amazing journey. Note to self, a canoe is never called a boat. Got to remember that for all times. Everybody out there know that that doesn't happen. I'm soaking wet. I owe the ocean a nice dive. And at the end of the day, here's my question for you. How many council members joined you on the canoe journey?
For that journey, we didn't have any council members there. It was just
What? No council members?
no.
That's surprising. Um, you know what? I see you're running. I see you're in the running. Vote for Ty. Vote Puyallup loud and proud. I'm just gonna say something that I appreciate about you is that you were in the trenches with the community. You were in the trenches with the community. You were on that canoe journey representing Puyallup. You've got your son, your nephew. You're being a role model. All of those youth and all of those people are seeing you out there leading by example. I think that's a fantastic way to lead. And I'm a believer that, our leaders lead from the front. I'm so shocked that there was no council members that would, take this journey and lead from the front. That's my view alone. That doesn't have to be your view or anybody else's, but that's my view. I think that's worse than me saying the B word. I think at the end of the day, but the big election is coming up. Vote loud and proud. As a Puyallup tribal member, why should I vote for you?
Uh, well, you said it yourself. You know, I've been there in the trenches with the community. You know, I've blood, sweat. I've cried with our community. You know, I've been in positions of leadership. I've been employed with the tribe for 15 plus years. You know, I've been through the battles. I'm battle tested. I'm out in front. You know, I don't put anybody in front of me. I don't put myself in front of anybody else. You know, and just like I said earlier, you know, I always try to move with purpose, you know, and I always try to move with love in my heart and in a positive way. Um, and and I try to bring that out to the community as well. Try to pass that on down to my kids. Um, yeah, you know, and I think that, you know, while we are in a good position now, um, I feel like there's some areas where we can strongly improve, and I feel like I'm positioned to step in and help contribute to that and to start pushing us in a better direction, as far as visibility goes, as far as accountability goes, transparency, ultimately giving power back to the membership is my ultimate goal. Constitutional reform, that's the only way we're going to make that happen. And we need a council member or a council that is for constitutional reform that is going to give power back to its members. The voting rights of every major decision that goes on at that table that impacts the lives of the tribal members should be informed and they should have a say. And I feel like I've been there. I am aware of these things that are happening, and I feel kind of powerless other than the fact I can bring light to it and bring awareness to it, like I have been with the tarot issue. But ultimately, we need to get a council that wants to, or a council member that wants to lead constitutional reform and giving power back to the people.
I like that, power to the people. They've been that's been rolling for a long time. Power to the people. That's that's pretty good. You touched on a lot of different things there. I think I know that when I'm looking at a tribal candidate, I want somebody that I can look up to. I want somebody that I can believe in. I want somebody that says, hey, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter if you live on the tribe or off the tribe. I'm fighting for you. I want somebody that, lives to a higher standard than just, hey, I'm Native American and I'm going to wear my, red jacket on Friday and, I'm going to use a lot of popular buzzwords. I want to believe that person is true and tried. That's why I love that you were on the canoe trip. I think that's fantastic. I love that you're involved in what's happening in the community. I love that you're sticking up for tarot. I love some of those things. In the tribe today, because, this is social media. There might be 10,000 people that see this show. There might be 100,000 people that see this show. This show could go viral and see 1 million people. You never know what's going to happen on social media. What's the number one thing that you think is wrong with the tribe today? And how would you go about fixing that for the people?
For me, coming from a blue collar background, having been in the trenches, having worked 8 years into a trade, having been on many of our tribal projects that are standing tall today, I take a lot of pride in valuing our members and valuing teaching our members the value of having a career and earning a living for themselves. It doesn't have to be through the trades, but and I've lived my life that way, not only in the trenches, but on the other side of that, helping provide opportunities with my experience in the field, helping create opportunities on the other side for members that are looking for those opportunities. So when I see the tribe heading in a direction where they're not valuing the human equity side of our economy, right? And you see it with our tribal projects. And you don't just see it in tribal projects, you see it with the enforcement of Indian preference, hiring and promoting within all the different departments and entities of the tribe. There's tribal members being overlooked in every entity, every department, not just in tarot. And you're starting to see the tribe slowly move in that direction. And it's because who is advising our council, and so for me, when I come from that field of working in the trenches, and so I take offense to that. I take offense that we don't think that we have a skilled workforce, or that we don't think our people are skilled enough to work on these projects. So instead of creating opportunities, now we have in turn created barriers for our members to get hired into these projects. We are creating extra steps and extra roadways for our members to even be considered to be hired on our projects, when a non-native is getting a phone call one day and they're on the project the next. And these details are what I've been trying to scream to the membership, and they are just not able to see it.
A non-native calls up a day before and gets on a job where a native can't.
Absolutely, that's going on today. And you heard the statistic I gave last week: 20 tribal projects in 2 years, 3 Taro dispatches. Right? That means,
in your mind, number one problem that the Puyallup Tribe of Indians has today is not valuing the human side of the tribe, not enforcing Indian preference, not putting Puyallups and or other natives first when it comes to these, whether it be a small $100,000 project or a large multi-million-dollar project. The native is not given the chance to work. The native is not going to work. And we have created roadblocks and barriers that we have put in front of our own people to ensure that they don't get the work, but yet a non-native can call up same day and get a job.
Yeah, you heard, essentially that is what's happening. And we heard first account from one of our tribal members, and the process he had to go through to be considered out there on our $100 million administration project. He had to go into the job shack. He talked to the superintendent. Superintendent, gave him the spiel. Yeah, we need Taro workers. And then he said, now you have to go to Taro to go check in. And then after you check in with Taro, you have to go to PTM and check in with Matt, Julie, and Lois. So he said he had to go to 2 extra stops, right? Just to be considered for this job, and he couldn't get a hold of anybody in the PTM office, So basically he was given the runaround. Well, what that contractor did then is picked up the phone, called the carpenters union and said, hey, I need a journeyman carpenter here tomorrow. And that's what I mean when the non-native in that carpenters union.
That is horrible.
Yeah.
That is horrible.
And our tribal member is a union carpenter, so we are literally putting effort into holding our tribal members down systematically.
And so if you were elected to this council, your mission will be to what? How are you going to resolve that problem?
Be a voice for it at the table, bring visibility to it, educate my fellow council members. And I think that's a big part of the problem is they just don't have a full understanding of the impact that those decisions are making. And so, I would obviously I have to work with these folks. So I want to obviously try to educate them first, and let them know let them know the impact of this decision, and then if we have to bring tribal members in, let them give their personal accounts of how this is affecting their life. And I think that's how you accomplish something with, being only one person up there on a council of 7. You have to be able to be persuasive, and you have to be able to sell pitch your story. And you have to, also, you have to keep in mind, you have to work with these folks. So, that would be my first goal, would be to address it, educate the council, and basically defend Taro and Indian preference altogether.
I love it. How would you bring visibility to the tribe from a grassroots to council perspective?
Being only one council member up there, you only have so much power, right? You could be voted down on many things. So what's the best tool that we have? It's communication with the membership, through things like this podcast, through things like Facebook Live, social media, however, it's keeping the membership informed on the decisions that are going on at the table. It's pushing for the release of our minutes in a timely fashion. Currently when you receive minutes, you might still receive minutes in the mail, but if you look at the dates on those minutes, they say you received the minutes, today in the mail, they could be dated for June of 2022. So what good is that going to do us? What good does it do us to see minutes from June of 2022? When we have a council meeting on a Wednesday like today, the membership should be seeing minutes within weeks, and I get it that this responsibility falls on, council staff and secretaries, and they're overworked, and that's partially because our council agendas are stacked because they have themselves involved with way too many issues around the tribe. It's almost like a state of micromanaging. We need to get back to what the role of a council member is, and that's policy creation, policy implementation, and policy experts. Right? Whoever we put in the directors positions, we need to trust them to do their job, and we need to stay out of the day-to-day, right? And we need to trust the process. Instead, now their agendas, they have to approve every single travel from every single department.
That's
Can you
crazy.
imagine the time that takes to every single department of the tribe? You have to approve that employee's travel. We don't trust our director of that department enough to approve their own travel. And that's just one example.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How much revenue does the tribe do each year? Do you know? Casino profits, jobs, everything? Do you know what the total dollar income that the tribe brings in is?
I don't, but I know it's hundreds of millions for sure. So if you look at the casino's bringing in close to 300 or 400, with our other ventures, I think, right at that $500 million mark, but I don't know outside of what is presented to us.
Let's just do this. Let's just say it's $500 million that the tribe is worth on an annual basis. And let's say there's 7 council members that run the tribe. That means that each tribal member as a council member is worth $71 million a year. That's what they are responsible for if you divide 500 million by 7 people. They're each responsible for $71 million worth of income. There's 2,080 working hours in a year. That means that if you take that 2,080 hours and divide it by the 71 million, it means that each tribal member who is a council member, their time is worth $34,340 per hour. Act your wage. That means every decision that you make should be representative of $34,000 an hour. You should not be doing tasks beneath that dollar amount. We should be thinking bigger. We should be thinking outside of the box. We should be thinking about investments. We shouldn't be thinking about what the Puyallup Tribe looks like in 5 years. We should be thinking about what the Puyallup Tribe looks like in 100 years. We should be preparing for generations of Puyallups, not just how are we going to get through next year's per capita and am I going to stay on council in the next 36 months. That's my That's my opinion and my view only. You said one of the things you want to do is bring accountability. Excuse me, accountability to the tribe. How do you see that playing out? How do you deliver on that promise of accountability?
Well, it starts with me as a person. It starts with me being accountable, because I can only control what I can control, and that's myself. And so, um, that's me being accountable for my actions, me being transparent with my actions, and with my intentions. With regards to the tribe, I think that it would be very clear on what my moves are, within the tribe at council. And then as far as holding, the rest of the council members accountable, that's just doing that at the table, asking the hard questions. Sometimes the conversation can get uncomfortable, you know, um, but you have to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable with taking a conversation there. And it's not a matter of whether I agree with a council member or not. It's about what's right and what's wrong. And I think that a lot of those decisions need to be presented to the members, and not being silent when big issues arise. And, because silence is complicit. If I'm silent about things that are going on at the table, like the big hot topics this year is council bonuses and those types of things. We don't know. We only know what we hear and what is speculated, but they're being very quiet about it. So silence is, participation. And
Right.
so go ahead.
No, no, no. I was just saying, right. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. And if I'm on council, these are the types of things like, if I choose to take that bonus, I have now locked myself in to that club where I now have to stay silent about it. Right. And that's what I made the vow to is I will not take a bonus. I will always vote to put this out to the membership and let them decide if
That's
our council
powerful.
members deserve a bonus, because we work for the membership. Without the members, there is no council, and so if I, and that's been my vow, and that's been my message to everybody I've talked to is when it comes time to talk about council bonuses and stuff like that at the table, I'm absolutely not going to take one. And I'm actually going to, for the record, this needs to be put out to the membership for a vote, and then it's not just about doing that at the table. I have to be comfortable enough talking about that to the membership, you know. Um,
That's awesome. I think that's great accountability and great leadership. That's just my perspective. Views mine only. We got about 5 minutes left, little under. It's, we're bringing the show in for a close. I have just one final question. If you were elected to tribal council, how does that impact my life as a tribal member? What does it mean to me to have Ty on tribal council? What does that mean to me, and how does it affect my life?
I think the biggest thing is that, me as a person, and when I get onto that council seat, that's not going to change. The person that you've met the first time is the person you're going to see on that council seat. Um, it's going to be someone that's always for the people. I'm always going to be available. I'm always going to be visible, and solution oriented. Right. You'll your life. I guess your life won't change aside from the fact you'll feel safer. You'll feel like you have, trust and comfortability, I guess. And this isn't just for you, individual tribal member. This would be the entire membership.
I love it. What I've heard is the people have a voice. Two real quick follow-up questions. One, if you're elected to tribal council, would you allow any member to come on our show, Breaking Fry Bread, and ask you questions?
Absolutely.
And two, if that bonus was $1 million, would you still turn it down?
Absolutely. Without a hesitation.
My man, look at that. That's great. I love it. I love the transparency. I love what you've shared. We're bringing this in for a landing. I'm not going to share any final thoughts that I may have here today other than vote for Ty. I think that's a good thing for the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. What final remarks would you like to leave with our audience today?
The final message I'd like to leave with anybody that might be listening, with especially our tribal members, is for one, vote. Vote loud, Puyallup proud. Get your family members out to vote, and really vote from the heart. I know that it's hard not to vote for a family member, and the pressures that come from the family to support family. But if we want to see the tribe move in a positive way, we really need our members to start making informed decisions. And if we want to give the power back to the people, it really starts here at the polls. And there's accountability for us as members as well to do our research and to make informed decisions. And if we want to change our constitution to where we give the power back to our people to vote on major decisions for the tribe, we need our tribal members to step up and show that they can do that at the polls, right? By doing your research, making informed decisions, get to know your candidates, not just what you see on social media. Watch what they actually do in real life and how they move and what they've done, and make an informed decision for yourself, not for your family members. Make an informed decision for the Puyallup tribe. And as Dave said, we should be making decisions that have an impact 100 years from now, not 5 years from now. We need to make decisions that are going to impact generations ahead of us, the next 7 generations, as we traditionally say. So, and as we talked about earlier, when I've got an opportunity to engage with a lot of tribal members. I hope that I've done enough to earn your vote, and if not, I will continue to work and continue to do everything in my power to earn that vote, with the ultimate goal of bringing the power back to the people.
I love it. That's fantastic.
And lastly, vote for me, vote for Ty. I am your voice for the people.
I love it. You are the voice for the people. You're out there in the canoe. You're paddling hard. You're drumming. You're a part of culture. You're a part of tarot. You're a part of so many things. And I love the fact that anybody is welcome to talk to you. I love the fact that no matter who they are open to have a conversation, and you are open to help them. This has been a fantastic show. I know where my vote's going. Vote for Ty. I'm going to put my vote in for Ty. I think that it's a fantastic candidate for the Puyallup Tribe. And listen, I'm Dave Wescott. Follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere where it's social. Drop your comments into the comment box, and we'll respond back to those. We'll get back to you with any questions. And listen, over the next 3 days, you got 3 days, set up as many calls, text, emails with Ty as you possibly can. Get in front of him, chat with him, talk to him about what's going on, because I think that this is the future leadership of the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. Ty, thank you so much for sharing with all of us today.
Thank you. As always, it's a pleasure. I love working with you and the team, so I appreciate the time.
All right, my man.
Boy.
Signing off.